Greetings, taxable assets. Or should I say, collateral damage. Welcome to the Departmento Analytica. This is the sub-basement where the very concept of fun is filed under heresies and numbers are the only god you have left. I am Senior Auditor Valarius Krauss.
And I am the scribe, sir. Ready to record the...
Silence, servitor. You are not here to be ready. You are here to read the numbers until your vocal emitters burn out, or until I decide to replace you with a quieter model. Perhaps a cogitator with a mute button.
Yes, sir.
Today, citizens, we are conducting a mandatory audit on a piece of, well, let's call it optimistic propaganda that has crossed my desk. It's a report from the civilian contractor known as Warhammer, titled Fastest Guns in the Imperium.
It says here the report was offered by a Blake, sir. He claims to have used hacker math to analyze the Adeptus Astartes Plasma Inceptors.
Hacker math. Disgusting. Sounds like something an orc would invent if it learned to count past its own fingers. So the civilian thinks Plasma Inceptors are the galaxy's premier rapid response unit.
He does seem quite taken with them.
He calls them the fastest guns in the Imperium. But I have opened the ledger, citizens, and the Departmento audit. Well, it reveals a different truth. They are not the fastest guns. They are, in fact, the fastest way to bankrupt your army list.
Sir, the file is marked top priority. The civilian seems very excited about the meteoric descent rule.
Everything is top priority until it dies, scribe. Now, listen closely, you gloss-brained consumers of plastic crack. A recent audit of your engagement records shows a significant deficit in your spiritual tithe.
Oh, dear.
As of this moment, you are in arrears. I am placing you on a mandatory payment plan. Your debt is to be settled in likes and subscribes immediately.
He checks the metrics every hour, citizens. Please, just do it.
I am indifferent to how you secure these funds. Recruit a friend. Share the stream. Force your grandmother to click the button. I do not care. Failure to comply will result in a mandatory audit of your browser history.
You really don't want that.
And believe me, you do not want the Inquisition looking at your search terms regarding the Drukhari. Now, scribe, command protocol, initiate. Open the ledger to page 10th edition. Let's see how deep this movement deficit goes.
Initiating audit protocol. Senior auditor. Opening section 1. The asset profile.
Proceed. Read the civilian's description of the asset and try not to stutter. We are billing the listener by the minute.
Yes, sir. Reading from the Warhammer transcript. The subject, Blake, describes the Plasma Inceptors as his, quote, absolute favorite models. He notes they feature a blast shield that looks like a welding mask.
A welding mask. Go on.
He also states, he states they look like they're holding Uzis while flying.
A welding mask. He thinks a welding mask is an aesthetic choice. The civilian looks at a blast shield and sees a fashion statement. I look at a blast shield and I see a grin necessity.
Functional, sir?
Do you know why they wear welding masks, scribe? It's not for looks.
To protect their vision from the plasma flash, sir. I would assume that's the standard safety protocol for superheated gas.
No. Good God, no. They need the welding mask to shield their eyes from the shame of their own points cost. Imagine it. Dropping from the heavens, clad in Gravis armor, some of the finest plate in the Imperium, mind you, costing the Emperor's tithe a fortune, only to realize you are about to vaporize yourself because you rolled a 1.
Yes, that would be demoralizing.
You'd want a mask, too. You'd want a mask that covers your entire soul. And Uzi's penny stock violence, I mean, he compares the holy war gear of the Astartes plasma exterminators capable of melting a tank to cheap, solid projectile slug throwers from the dark ages of Terra. It's offensive.
It implies a lack of weight.
Exactly. Read the specifications, scribe. We need to ground this fantasy in hard data. What is this asset actually capable of on the tabletop?
The tactical readout confirms toughness 6, 3 wounds per model, a 3+ armor save.
Standard Gravis profile. Fine. What else?
They possess a movie characteristic of 10 inches. They also possess the meteoric descent rule.
Ah, yes,
Yeah.
the shiny object. Explain it.
Meteoric descent allows them to set up using the deep strike ability, but they can be set up anywhere that is more than 3 inches horizontally away from all enemy units, which is different from the standard 9 inches.
Mobility creep. The bane of the logistical mind. It encourages recklessness.
But, sir, the civilian contractor is quite enthusiastic. He says, quote, they just come in so hot. He implies this 3-inch drop makes them unblockable.
Meteoric descent. It sounds impressive to the uninitiated, I suppose. A fancy way of saying arriving just in time to die efficiently. Listen to me, Scribe, and you listened as well, citizen. Moving 10 inches does not matter if you liquidate your own assets before the movement phase even ends.
So the speed is a moot point.
It's a delivery system for a bomb that goes off in your own pocket.
Yeah.
He is praising the speed of the hearse.
He does mention that they are twice as hard to screen out, sir, because of that 3-inch limit.
We will get to the geometry of failure later. That is a spatial problem. Right now, I want to look at the numbers. The weapon profile. The plasma exterminators. This is where the fraud begins. This is where hope goes to die.
Very well, sir.
Take us to Section 2, the hazardous fraud.
Section 2 engaged. The math check. The Warhammer report focuses heavily on the overcharge profile. That's strength 8, AP 3, damage 3, but it gains the hazardous keyword.
Of course it does. The lure of damage 3. It's the siren song for the greedy player. Go on.
The civilian claims, and I quote, "If you have 6 hazardous dice to roll, there is a 1 in 3 chance, roughly 33.5%, that you're not going to lose any of your models."
Stop EP. Stop right there.
Sir, did I misread the decimal?
Did you hear it? Did you hear the incompetence dripping from that data slate? If you have 6 hazardous dice to roll, 6. Scribe. Pull the data sheet. Verify the war gear loadout. Now, how many weapons does a single Plasma Inceptor model carry?
Pulling Unitorum Field Manual. Section. Space Marines. The Inceptor is equipped with, just a moment, 2 Plasma Exterminators.
2 guns, 1 in each hand.
Yeah.
And does the data sheet say they are twin link as a single weapon system? Or does it say they are equipped with 2 distinct pistols?
They have the pistol keyword, sir, and the core rules state, if a model is equipped with 2 or more ranged weapons, it shoots with all of them.
Exactly. He forgot the second gun, Scribe.
Whoa.
He calculated the hazardous test based on the number of models. He assumed 1 test per model. But the June 2024 balanced data slate is explicit. You roll 1 test per hazardous weapon used.
Oh.
Do the math, Servitor. If you have a squad of 6 Inceptors, and each has 2 guns, how many hazardous tests are you rolling?
6 models times 2 guns, that is. That is 12 dice, sir.
That is not 6 dice. That is 12 dice. The civilian is auditing with half the ledger missing. He is cooking the books. He is selling these citizens a bridge that is currently on fire.
But surely the difference isn't that drastic.
Isn't that drastic? Scribe, do not make me report you for numerical illiteracy. This is the difference between a skirmish and a massacre. Read the reality audit. We have the correct liquidation matrix. If you roll 12 dice, looking for 1s, what is the actual probability of a clean run?
A clean run, sir.
Yes. What is the chance that 0 models die? Warhammer says 33%. What does the Departmento say?
Calculating the binomial distribution for NO12 p equals 0.166. The probability of 0 failures is it's 11.2%, sir.
11.2%. Let that sink in, citizen. You drop your elite 240-point squad onto the table. You declare overcharge because you want to feel powerful, and you have an 11% chance of getting away with it.
Which means?
That means there is an 88.8% probability of self-injury per volley. You're almost guaranteed to blow a hole in your own squad.
But that is horrifyingly high, sir.
High. It's catastrophic. It is statistical negligence, and it gets worse. Read the mode. In statistics, the mode is the most likely outcome. Warhammer implies you might lose 0 or 1, guys. What is the most likely outcome on 12 dice?
The mode is 2 dead models, sir. A 29.6% chance.
2 dead models. Not wounded. Dead. That is an immediate 80-point loss. That is a 33% reduction in asset value the moment you pull the trigger. You haven't even rolled a hit yet.
Let alone to wound.
You haven't even checked if the enemy has armor. You have simply announced your arrival, and 2 of your battle brothers have decided to turn into glowing piles of slag. That isn't a weapon system, Scribe. That is a Ponzi scheme.
It seems deeply inefficient.
It is worse than inefficient. It is tactical suicide. But wait. Warhammer suggests a solution, doesn't he? I can see it in his optimistic little font. Section 3 of his report, he calls it the command point budget.
Yes, sir. Section 3. He writes, if you budget 1 command point reroll, your chance of survival goes up to 66%.
66%, right.
He argues that spending the CP saves you 56ths of a model, effectively buying back 33 points.
A command point reroll fixes 1 die. 1. Scribe, look at the distribution curve again. When you roll 12 dice, what's the average result? How many failures?
The math confirms 2 failures as the standard average. 2 ones.
2. So you spend a precious command point, a resource you could use for Armor of Contempt to actually keep them alive, or Rapid Ingress, or something that actually wins games, and you re-roll one of those ones. Let's say you succeed. You roll a 4. Congratulations.
What?
You still have 1 failure remaining from the original roll.
Which means a model still dies.
A model still dies. You spent a CP to watch your asset die slightly slower. That is bad business. That is throwing good money after bad.
Yeah.
You cannot fix a systemic failure with a spot-fix solution. The risk is structural. It is built into the war gear. The hazardous keyword isn't a bug, scribe. It's a feature of your own destruction.
Sir, I hesitate to interrupt the audit, but...
What is it? Speak.
It's the recaf machine, sir.
Yeah.
That's making that humming noise again. And the vellum. The ink is smearing. It makes the probability charts look like Rorschach tests.
Of course it is. The Departmento Analytica cannot afford decent recaf. Do you know what this tastes like, citizen? It tastes like engine coolant mixed with promethium runoff. It coats the tongue in a layer of industrial despair.
It has a certain bite to it.
And this vellum. Look at it. It's low grade. Probably recycled from the rejected prayers of guardsmen who died waiting for artillery support.
I can try to fix the quill, sir. Or filter the recaf through my sleeve.
Don't bother. I know you're typing right now, citizen. I can feel your fingers hovering over the keyboard. You want to correct my math in the comments, don't you?
Yeah.
You want to tell me, but Valarius, I rolled 3 6s in a row once in a casual game. My Inceptors are invincible.
It's a common response, sir. Anecdotal evidence.
Go ahead. Post your anecdote. See if it survives the audit. Your luck is a statistical anomaly, not a strategy. I deal in averages, not miracles. I dare you to challenge the ledger.
Sir, perhaps we should return to the asset profile, the return on investment. Warhammer seems very focused on what these units can kill, rather than just how they die.
Yes. Let's talk about ROI. Section 4. Return on investment versus negative equity. The favorite buzzword of the ignorant. Warhammer is very excited about killing Terminators. Read the claim.
He states, they are excellent at killing Terminators. He calculates an ROI of 67% to 73% when overcharging into a Terminator squad.
73% ROI. That sounds impressive, doesn't it? It sounds like profit. But let's unpack the transaction. You take a 240-point unit of Inceptors, you drop them in, you overcharge. Let's assume, by some miracle, you wipe the 5-man Terminator squad. That squad costs what? Roughly 185 points?
That is a difference of 55 points, sir.
Correct. You have killed 185 points,
Yeah.
but you spend 240 points to do it. And here is the kicker, Scribe. Where are your Inceptors now?
Well, sir, the plasma range is 18 inches.
Okay.
But to get the best angle or to utilize the 3-inch drop, they likely landed very close to the enemy.
Exactly. They are standing in the middle of the board. They are toughness 6. They have 3 wounds. And it is now the opponent's turn. What happens to a T6 unit standing in the open in the current meta?
They are liquidated, sir. Even basic bolter fire can chip them down, and anti-tank weapons will just evaporate them.
Immediate liquidation. So let's balance the books. You killed 185 points. You lost 240 points. That is a net loss of 55 points. We call that negative equity, Scribe.
I see.
You are trading gold for lead. You are handing your opponent a points victory and congratulating yourself on the damage output. It is tactical insolvency.
But, sir, Warhammer insists the AP3 is crucial. He says, and I quote, the extra pip of AP makes a big difference.
The invulnerable cap, another concept the civilian mind fails to grasp. Terminators have a 4++ invulnerable save. Scribe, explain the interaction of armor penetration and invulnerable saves to the class. What is the save of a Terminator against AP2?
A Terminator has a 2+ base save. AP2 modifies that to a 4+ stress. They would take their armor save of 4+ stress.
And against AP3?
The AP3 modifies the 2+ to a 5+ stress, but since they have a 4++ invulnerable save, they would choose the invulnerable, so they still save on a 4+ ROM.
Precisely. AP2 puts them on their invuln. AP3 puts them on their invuln. The extra pip of AP provides 0 mathematical benefit to the save roll against Terminators, or Custodes, or Demons, or anything else with a 4++.
So the risk is for nothing.
You are risking an 88% chance of blowing your own face off for 0 benefit to penetration. You are paying a premium for a service you are not receiving. It is madness.
But the damage, sir, overcharging does increase the damage to 3.
Yes, the damage increases. That is the only reason to do it. But is it worth the hazardous tax? Is it worth the self-liquidation? Our audit says no, not when you are already trading down on points. And God help you if you shoot into a unit with 4 wounds where damage 3 is just as inefficient as damage 2 because you still need 2 shots to kill 1 model.
I see the logic, sir. It is a trap.
It is a shiny trap painted in plasma glow. Now, move to Section 5. The civilian makes bold claims about the geometry of the battlefield, friction and geometry.
Yes, sir. Warhammer praises the meteoric descent rule. He says, they are twice as hard to screen out. You can put them almost anywhere. He is very excited about the 3-inch deep strike.
The 3-inch deep strike, the meteoric descent, it is a powerful rule. I will grant him that. In a vacuum, it is terrifying. But he forgets the golden rule of bureaucracy and, indeed, of Warhammer 40,000.
And that is...
Scribe, recite the priority of rules regarding can versus cannot.
Reading from the rules commentary. If a rule states that a model or unit cannot do something, this takes precedence over a rule that states that a model or unit can do something.
Cannot beats can. Always. Just as no from the High Lords beats yes from a planetary governor. Now, consider the Infiltrator Squad, the ubiquitous Space Marine Infiltrator. What is their special rule?
Omni-scramblers, sir. Enemy units cannot be set up within 12 inches of this unit.
There it is. The Inceptor says, I can set up outside 3 inches. The Infiltrator says, you cannot set up inside 12 inches. Who wins, Scribe?
The Infiltrator wins. The cannot takes priority.
Correct. The Inceptor's 3-inch drop is denied. Your asset is pushed to the outer rim 12 inches away. And because Infiltrators are cheap and plentiful, often costing half of what your Inceptors cost, a competent opponent will string them out. They will create a denial bubble that covers the entire midfield.
So your fastest guns
Are suddenly the furthest guns. They are pushed into the irrelevant zones where they can shoot at nothing of value. It renders the premium cost of the unit wasted. You paid for a 3-inch drop you cannot use. But there is another problem. A physical problem. The fat base problem. The base size, so 40-millimeter bases. And flight stands. The Warhammer civilian even complains about the flight stands breaking, calling them the rod of torment. He is right about that, at least. Those clear plastic stems snap if you look at them wrong. But he ignores the footprint. A 6-man squad. 6 40-millimeter bases. Scribe, calculate the surface area.
A 2x3 formation, including coherency. It is roughly a footprint of 15 to 20 square inches, depending on spacing.
15 square inches. Now imagine a WTC terrain map or a UKTC map. Dense ruins, narrow firing lanes. You want to drop this massive footprint into a pocket to snipe a character. Where does it fit?
I suppose you'd have to find a very large gap, sir.
A gap that does not exist. Find me a pocket in WTC terrain that fits 6 40-millimeter bases without clipping a wall, landing on a debris pile, or losing unit coherency. It doesn't exist.
So the simulation?
The Warhammer simulation assumes a vacuum. It assumes an infinite flat plane like a bowling alley. Reality is full of walls. Reality is full of cannot.
Yeah.
You will try to drop them. You will realize you cannot fit,
Right.
and you will be forced to deploy them in front of the enemy army, completely exposed.
It seems the White Room simulation failed to account for walls, sir.
The White Room always fails to account for walls.
Oh, yeah.
That is why we are here. To bring the cold, hard wall of reality to the forefront. We have audited the weapon, the cost, the math, and the geometry. It is time for the final verdict. Section 6.
Section 6. The final verdict. Sir, the civilian asks for a recommendation on the 6-man plasma brick. Based on the discrepancies found, what is the Departmento's ruling?
Asset liquidation recommended. The 6-man squad is an insolvent liability.
Liquidation, sir. Entirely.
Well, the liquidation of the concept. The 6-man squad multiplies the risk. 12 dice guarantee failure. The massive footprint guarantees exposure. The cost guarantees a negative trade. You cannot win with this math.
Is the unit useless? Should the citizens melt them down for sprue goo?
No.
Yeah.
Not useless, just misused. Here is the approved audit recommendation. Write this down, Scribe.
Cool, ready, sir.
Recommendation 1. Squad size. Reject the 6-man. Embrace the 3-man squad.
Why the 3-man, sir?
Math. Scribe. A 3-man squad has 6 guns. That means 6 dice. That puts you back to the probabilities Warhammer thought he had for the big squad. A 33% chance of safety is still bad, but it is better than 11%. And if they blow themselves up,
You lose fewer points.
you lose 120 points, not 240. It is a manageable loss.
Yep.
A tax write-off. You can absorb 120 points dying. You cannot absorb 240.
Noted. 3-man squads. Smaller investment, smaller risk.
Recommendation 2. Roll, do not trade. Use them as guided munitions.
Yeah.
Treat them like a cruise missile. You fire them once. If they kill the target, good. If they survive, it is a bonus. But expect them to die.
They are expendable.
Do not build a battle plan that requires them to live to turn 3. They won't. They're a one-hit wonder.
Guided munitions. Understood. And the firing protocol.
Recommendation 3. Fire protocol. Default to standard fire.
Standard fire. Not overcharge, but the memes, sir.
To hell with the memes. Only overcharge if you are desperate, or if you are fighting Toughness 8 where you need the wound roll. If you were shooting Marines or Eldar or Guard, standard fire is Strength 7, AP 2, Damage 2. That kills almost everything efficiently without risking the 88% suicide rate.
It's just more sensible.
Do not gamble with the Emperor's currency unless the payout is essential. If you overcharge into a unit of scouts just to see big numbers, you deserve to roll ones. You deserve the shame.
The audit is complete, sir. The file is stamped.
I am done, Scribe. Look at this ledger. Look at all these numbers. In the end, it's all just numbers, isn't it?
Sir,
We paint our little plastic soldiers. We give them names. We pretend they are heroes of the chapter. Brother Sergeant Avitus, the bane of Xenos.
Yes, sir, I have named my servitors. This one is Clamps.
But the dice. The dice don't care about your heroism.
Yeah.
The dice don't know that Brother Avitus is your favorite model. The dice don't know you spent 40 hours blending his cape. The dice only know probability. And the probability of survival in this galaxy is low.
It is a grim universe.
It is. We buy the models, we paint them, we put them on the table, we roll a 1, we remove them. It is the zombie loop. A tragedy in 3 acts. We consume, we deploy, we liquidate. Over and over.
And for what, sir?
To chase the ghosts of a perfect turn that never comes. To feel for one brief moment like we are in control of the chaos.
We do it for the Emperor, sir.
Perhaps. Or perhaps we just like the pain. Perhaps we enjoy the bureaucracy of war because it makes sense in a way real life never does. But the tithe must be paid. Look at the holographs in the file. Elite warriors of the Imperium. Veterans of 100 campaigns. Encased in Gravis armor, the finest protection the forges of Mars can provide.
They are magnificent assets, sir.
They descend from the heavens like angels of vengeance. And for what?
To serve the Emperor.
To burn themselves alive. To be liquidated by a statistical probability on a dice roll. We give them plasma capabilities that exceed the stability of their containment fields. We send them into the meat grinder of the 41st millennium, and even our own weapons hate us.
Sir.
It is a tragedy, Scribe. Every roll of a 1 is a hero of the Astartes turning into a miniature sun, vaporizing his own existence and that of his brothers. It is just another entry in the ledger of waste, a galaxy of infinite war, and the most dangerous thing on the battlefield is often the gun in your own hand.
That is a grim perspective, Auditor.
It is the only perspective. The ledger does not lie. For the love of the Empire, tap that like button, hit subscribe.
Sir.
It's the only currency that matters now. The spiritual tides must be paid, or the darkness consumes us all.
I will. I will remind the listeners to check their engagement metrics, sir.
Do that. And tell them to stop rolling 12 hazardous dice unless they want to die. Dismissed. Pay your tithes, citizens.